And let's pick on Barbie a little more. So I'm going to. And I know you don't want me to.
I didn't say that.
Because
I'm just saying be gentle. And
I'll try to be gentle because there are people out there, obviously, that have seen it. A lot of people, given how much it made. But there are people we know that have seen it. There's people I know who have seen it.
Yep.
Some weren't too happy. Others don't they don't know what the problem is. And I'm going to tell you what the problem is. The problem is, one, it makes men, what was the word?
Marginalized.
Weak, like they're unnecessary to women. It makes women...
it reverses the idea.
It's lying to you, saying that women have no rights. Women are, what's the word?
Powerless,
suppressed, powerless. And that's not the case. Just like, and I'm not going to go there, but just like when they talk about with black people, that they're suppressed and all this, they're not. I'm just going to say it. They're not. Look how many are successful in the world. When you, if you want to say successful, the world's definition, the athletes, celebrities, politicians, business owners, they're everywhere, and they're very successful. And they have no roadblocks. Maybe a long time ago they did, and that's a shame. But we're not there anymore. It's a lie. Just like with this, women are not suppressed. There's many...
You mean oppressed?
Oppressed? Did I say suppressed? Probably a few times right now. Okay, I meant oppressed on all of it. They are very successful. Business owners. They're in the political world. Celebrities again, athletes, they're everywhere. And we're all doing just fine, right? I know a lot of men who make a lot less than women do in their jobs. And there's no complaining going on, right? No, everybody doesn't make the same amount, though. It's not an even playing field. Some people have degrees, some people have experience, some people worked hard for it.
It should always be on the skill set and on the what your level
on merit.
Yes, on merit, exactly.
Only. And so anyway, that's another problem that the movie has going on for it. The humor is very, what's the word? Crude.
And also I heard...
Inappropriate.
Well, and I also heard that even the people that appreciate crude humor were saying the timing was off and it was not great.
Okay, who cares about the timing? The timing is it shouldn't have existed.
I'm just saying in general that there was multiple reasons. I'm trying to be a little bit more fair.
But there is no proper timing for crude humor.
Oh, I know. Crude humor. I mean, in general, any kind of humor
has no place.
Yes, but I'm saying any humor in there, whether it was crude or not, also was not well timed. Yes.
But
trying to be a little more fair and balanced here.
What's the other word when it comes to the humor?
Perverse?
Yes. Perverse humor. There was a lot of it. And just in the trailer I seen it. When I saw the trailer, I'm like, wow.
And I will say on a point on that, what's frustrating is if this is, I mean, Barbie was a thing, especially for young children, and then having this movie come out, and I hear a lot of people say, well, the kids won't understand the humor anyway, and I'm saying you're not giving children enough credit. Because if you're okay with them going to this movie and you're thinking, oh, well, it should be fine because they're exposed to it, well, then they probably understand a lot more than what you give them credit for. I know as a child... I was exposed to things at a very young age, and I can recognize humor. We do not give our children enough credit for what they're... Now, not all of them will understand it, but why does that make it any better?
But if the adult
understands
the parent took the children to see it, and the adult says, oh, there's nothing wrong, or, oh, I get it. I get what they're doing in here, but my child is not going to get it. Well, if you get it, that there's something wrong with it, why are you watching it?
Well,
did you go see the movie for yourself or for your children?
And going down...
Because the children today are not the ones that are growing up with Barbie.
Yeah.
The parents did.
Yeah.
So I think the parents are going because that's what I grew up with, right? They're saying that's what I grew up with.
Well, and
So
the idea of perversity and humor in general and sexualization of that kind of thing, it actually goes against the premise of what people, especially feminists and different people that are for women's rights, are actually trying to promote, because you're sexualizing both men and women in a negative context, a disrespectful way. So you're actually doing the opposite by supporting and laughing at this humor. You're actually being a part of the marginalization of women and men in general when you
Yeah.
watch these kinds of things.
and it's very dangerous.
It's degrading to ourselves and disrespectful, and that is why we struggle with these kinds of movies. And now I will say, in Sound of Freedom, there was cussing, and I will mention that, which
There
I
was a
didn't
couple- there was
appreciate.
a couple words.
I did not appreciate that, but I understand it because, but at the same time, I didn't appreciate it. So it just a heads up, there was a few cuss words. Nothing. I mean, it depends on your perception on that, but I did not like that. So that was one of my main negatives, I think, on that movie.
And if that's your only negative on that movie, one negative versus, what was it? How much? Where are we at? 972 negatives for Barbie. I know what the clear winner is. So either way, if you're, I'm just going to say it. Barbie, the movie Barbie, is not good for your children.
Yeah.
It is not good. It's harming them. It's harming them. And in fact, in Sound of Freedom, there was one verse that was quoted in that movie. The Bible talks about protecting children, how precious they are, not to put them in harm's way intentionally. And this is the verse that was spoken in that movie pertaining to evil out there and people who do harm, who seek to do harm to children. It says, if anyone causes one of these little ones to stumble, it would be better for them to have a large millstone hung around their neck and to be drowned in the depths of the sea. And that sounds pretty harsh, but it's a serious topic. It's that serious.
Yeah. And, I think it's so hard because even with Barbie, like before, there was a lot of like Barbie cartoons, they had princesses and those kinds of things. And it's very frustrating to see how far the world has come down this path of turning everything into some kind of political agenda. And I think that is my problem with Barbie. And, I know there was other talk about Sound of Freedom being political, but if you watch it and actually watch it, I don't see any political. And there was no political other than if you think human trafficking is wrong or right. I mean, that is the choice you have to make, which is wrong, which is right. That is, if that's a political side that you pick, then yeah. So I guess then that would be political.
In the political world, they're trying to downplay the seriousness of sex trafficking of children.
Yeah.
They try to downplay it. And, well, it's not that bad. Well, I don't care if it's not that bad. For one, it is. Quit lying to people. It is that bad. But let's say it wasn't that bad as the movie makes it out to be. Okay, how bad is it? I don't care at what level. They're like, oh, it's only this many children per year that are sex trafficked. Even if it's just
Didn't they
one.
say it was like millions and the millions that people are they're trafficked.
A lot.
I think it was millions.
A lot.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to bring the numbers, but it's a lot. But
It is over drug use too, I think.
It's about to surpass it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Drug trafficking.
Yeah.
It's bad. It's really bad. And anyway, what I was trying to say is, okay, say it wasn't that bad. Say it's only 100 per year they get sex trafficked.
Still 100
okay,
per year.
It's 100 per year.
Yeah.
That's bad.
That's somebody's child.
You can't downplay this.
And what's even worse is that there are parents and that actually put their children in these positions as well. And then there's people that are by my negligence, I could, in some way, shape, or form, cause my child, or not cause it, but I could be doing.
We can make our children more prone to being victims of this sex trafficking in a couple ways. One, by not paying attention to what they're doing, what social media apps they're on, who they're talking to, right?
By sexualizing them in a way.
By sexualizing them, by taking them to see certain movies that lie to you. How women, I don't know, whatever. You know what I mean? Do you know what I mean?
Well, I think that social media itself is also a way, it's grooming all these many things that are happening. You've got children on Instagram, you've got children on Facebook, and they're doing their poses and those kinds of
And
things.
what is their worth? The children are learning their worth
by
is their social status
by
and their appearance
and their sex.
Yeah.
It's literally what it's about. And that's what sex trafficking is all about. It's about pleasuring, these people, and it's about marginalizing your children, and it's about abusing them, seeing them as objects rather than human beings with souls that we should be caring for and should be protecting and guarding with our lives. We don't know all that information. So why are we kind of dangling that proverbial carrot in front of somebody like Satan, for instance, and saying, okay, here's our kids. You know what I mean? Why are we even putting them into that position? And that's why we have to be so careful and honest and forthright with our children.
And I think what Barbie does is it separates. It's in that movie. It's convincing women that they don't need men.
Yeah.
In fact, not only don't need men, you should not have a man in your life. Mm-hmm. Total separation. Mm-hmm. And I mean, that goes against the whole system of
Adam
the
and
way
Eve in the
everything
very beginning.
operates, the way nature operates.
In the very beginning.
Women, you need men. But men, you need women. We need each other.
Yeah.
Like, seriously.
Yeah.
Stay away from this garbage. These garbage movies. I'm like, yeah, some people ain't gonna like me too much, but I'm not here to be liked, right?
Yeah.
So,
I
hope you like me.
I do like you.
Okay.
Sometimes I don't always like you. We have our moments. You don't like me all the time either. I wanted to say, turning it back on myself, because I think it's important, because we've done a lot of pointing, and I think we need to point at ourselves. Mm-hmm. All of us are or can say in one way or another, we have fallen to that description of sexualization or whatever it is in our own lives in some way, shape, or form. And it's not good. One of the reasons why I also didn't want to go here was because of my own struggles with that kind of thing. And so it's difficult to bring it up, but I would just challenge our watchers or listeners, whatever, to think about, has there been a time where we have kind of disrespected ourselves, And mm-hmm. I think, and then how is it reflecting on how we raise our children? How is it reflecting on how we, if you're a Christian and you're watching this, how has it affected you raising your kids, or how you've dealt with other people, or your own self-esteem and confidence? I mean, there's a lot in that, and where are we finding our confidence in, So you guys, I know this might have touched on some sore spots, and so I apologize if it kind of, pushed on some things.
I know, and I can come across a little, what is it, rude or not, bold,
blunt,
or whatever.
Something. Forward.
I'm not trying to. So, if you are victims of this, seeing that stupid movie, and so you now have wounds, like symbolic wounds mm-hmm. that you are maybe not aware of. And I'm not here to pour the salt on the wound. Mm-hmm. What am I trying to do? I'm trying to
be the salt of the world, because you're supposed to do that.
Yeah, I wasn't going to say that. But I'm trying to help heal that wound.
Yeah.
And some people don't even know they have it. And they probably got a lot of wounds over the years.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So
I will just say, the closer I get to Christ, the farther away I get from that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. And then the more aware I am. I think if we go into those movies without a kind of, or even go to the movie, without praying about it first, without even a movie, guys, it can influence people. I mean, look at the book. There's books that have influenced people for generations. The Bible, come on, it's you'd be surprised at how much influence it carries.
There's a lot of influence out in the world,
and how much damage
it's very powerful.
And we want you guys to avoid damage control. Instead, we want you guys to thrive and walk with dignity and feel confident that you are loved, that you are a blessing. And I think, remember that when we talk about these things, we're pointing the finger back at ourselves, because all of us have struggled with these kinds of things. All of us have done things that maybe we shouldn't have done. But that doesn't mean that, I'm just praying that, that you'll take it as it is. Like, if God's speaking to you about it, hopefully you don't get upset,
Well, to close it here.
Yeah.
If you did see Sound of Freedom and you were touched in a good way after seeing that movie, that's great. That's a good thing. If you went and seen Barbie and you didn't feel right about it afterwards, that's a good thing. If there was something off about it and you were feeling something,
maybe you're disappointed. I've heard a lot of people being disappointed by it.
But I want you to be disappointed in the right way, not for poor production, for plot and content. I want you to be disappointed for that.
Because God is everywhere, and He does see what we're watching.
And if you weren't, maybe think about it. Maybe pray about it and think about it.
So this is a verse about children, and it is found in Psalms 127:3. Children are a gift from the Lord. They are a reward from Him. Thanks for watching. If you like this show, hit that free subscribe button and share this video. We are on Facebook and Instagram. Also, check out our full-length podcast on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts. The links are provided in the description below. Thank you.